Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming. My name is Kristen Edens. I own Kris The Scribbler, and I'm a copywriter and business writer for small businesses and enjoy helping them take the pain out of writing their content. And my presentation today is called Deciphering Your Audience Without Losing Your Mind. And the purpose of that is the losing your mind part comes when you know you have to create all this great content, keep it consistent, and make it keep coming without losing your mind. And how do you do that when you're not really sure what your audience wants or needs? So I need a volunteer from the audience. So I'm going to work you through this flow chart that will help you decide what content works best for your audience. So would you like to be my volunteer? Sure. Okay, excellent. So here we go. Who are you? Start with your name.
Michelle Fontaine-Mosley.
Okay, I'll just start with Michelle, and I want to make sure I spell it right. And what do you do?
I direct youth programming for a not-for-profit agency.
Youth programming for not-for-profit. Okay, very good. So the next one is, why do you do it? Why do you do this?
Because I love our kids.
Loves kids. Loves kids. He loves kids. What makes you the best choice for being the youth programmer who loves kids for this nonprofit organization?
I'm very dedicated.
Okay.
And I will not give up.
Okay, now this process that I'm going through is something when I work with clients who come to me and they're frustrated, won't give up. And they're not sure where they need to go, where they want to go. They have a process. I just know I need to do this, but they're not really sure what the process is to get them to that final point. So what I'm going through is what I would go through with Kathy or with Ted or with anybody else who comes to me needing this kind of help. So we know Michelle is a youth programmer. She loves kids. She's very dedicated and won't give up. But when it comes to giving up, you must face that a lot.
Challenges, yes.
Okay, what are some of the challenges that you encounter that you let the people you work with know that Michelle will not give up?
Issues regarding transients or home life issues.
Okay.
Students, all kinds of external issues that we can't control.
So what is your industry? So it's non-for-profit, but what is the focus? Is it education?
Education.
Okay. Education. So now we're coming down to youth education. Okay, very good. Who do you serve? Usually we get B2B, B2C, nonprofits or individuals, but yours is nonprofit then. Or who reaches out to you though for this help?
Actually, both nonprofits and individuals.
Okay. Okay, next, what do you sell? A product, a service, an idea? Okay.
Product in terms of curriculum, services that we currently serve or sell, and the idea of STEAM enrichment.
STEAM, S-T-E-E-M.
STEM with the arts.
Okay, STEAM. Okay, STEAM, and what did you call that again? STEAM enrichment. Okay, so enrichment. I'm going to run out of. I'm not that tall to reach up any higher, so I'm going to have to squat down. Okay, so now we've got two groups we're reaching out to, and you said there were two, product, idea, service.
Well, I'd say all three.
Okay, and then what's the other then? STEAM enrichment, curriculum?
Actual program delivery service.
Okay, program delivery. Program delivery. Delivery. Okay, now, who makes up your ideal client, your ideal audience?
Dedicated, involved parents and students.
Okay. Do you get undedicated and uninvolved students? Okay. Dedicated. Okay, so I am going to put a star here because we will refer back to that. I will put a star here because we will refer back to that, and the same here. Because we've got two areas here. We've got two areas here. We've got three here, and we've got dedicated and involved parents and students. So these can be two different groups you're going to be reaching out to. Okay, but if you also encounter the not so dedicated and the not so involved, that's an audience you sometimes deal with as well then too. So we're going to just put plus non. So that might be something to consider further down on the schedule here. So now that we're here, what emotions do you encounter? Now, that's a big one. You're smirking, and I can see why, because we're going to have different emotions here. We're going to have different emotions with parents versus student. We're going to have different emotions dealing with the individual versus the nonprofit. So here's where it gets a little complicated, and it's going to start branching out some more. So is everybody with me so far? How we've gotten from who Michelle is to what she does, what really defines her, and then how it branches out to what her daily life is like. You probably encounter a lot of this, daily, hourly, weekly, whatever. So can you see how there's going to be some content that can be developed from this? That's when you look at, you start here and it branches out from there. So emotions, what are some of the negative, well, let's start with the positive based emotions. We've got excitement, we've got energized, we're ready to do something big and great.
Definitely excitement, pride.
Okay, excitement and pride.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anything else?
Warmth, happiness.
Okay, happy. Okay. All right, now what about some of those darker emotions? The fear, confused, okay. Frustration, impatience. Any others that come to mind?
Disappointment.
Disappointment. Okay, so these would be the big ones that you deal with daily. Mm-hmm. Now, where do you see this? Do you see this on the parent end, the student end? Do you see it up more in the individuals or with the nonprofits you're dealing with? Or maybe is it more with the transient or some of the home life activities? Where do you see most of these?
I'd say more so on the adult side. So
okay.
The adults within the school settings, the adults at home, and then it inevitably affects the kids.
Okay. So you're dealing with both the parents and maybe the educators themselves. So of these adults dealing with these, what percentage of, okay, you've got all these adults and you've got these happy emotions here. Between this one and this one, which has the higher percentage? In your day, in your work day, you get a mix of the negative emotions and also the positive emotions. But which one tends to make up more of your day? Do people, okay, is that 50%, 60%, 70%? It depends on the day? Okay, so we'll go with 70%. So that's most often. So 70% of the time, your clients are pretty good. They just want to improve their situation. How can we make it better? How can we, both from the parent and the teacher, the educator side of it. Okay, so then this would balance out maybe 30% then? Okay, 30% of the time. Excellent. Well, you don't want that. You're working to decrease that. So you've got a client coming to you that's excited. What's the next process? How do you help them further?
Oh, find out why they're excited and try to sustain it.
Okay, sustain. Very good. So, okay, sustaining and working on that, encouraging and building and growing that. Okay, over here, when a client comes to you frustrated, impatient, disappointed, how do you approach that? What's your solution?
Those are my emotions.
Oh, these are your emotions.
Yeah.
Ah.
But sometimes we do, encounter parents who are frustrated or disappointed. Not so much impatient. That's more me.
Okay, impatient. We'll give Michelle a mention here. Okay. So what makes you impatient?
I'm just impatient. But
is it the situation?
Results in
okay.
the time you get.
Okay. We're going to put that down there because results.
What do you mean by results with the kids, results with the program?
Well, that's what we're going to get to. Yeah, okay, results are lacking. I hope the video can see that. If not, I'm talking about it. So you get frustration and disappointment from the students, the teachers, probably the parents sometime. But you experience this as well, just because you're working towards this and something kind of slows it down along the way. Okay, very good. Let's see. So this is the point where we look at all of this and what you do to sustain it, what you do to kind of build and improve those results, and that's the basis for your content. So let's say, what kind of content creation do you do for your business, or does your business do overall?
So in terms of the actual product, it will be STEAM curriculum.
Okay, STEAM curriculum, okay. Okay, so you need to build awareness from it.
Right.
And you're using the STEAM curriculum to sustain that, but then also to help build results. So now we've got all this based down. You've got 30% of this going here, and then you've got 70% of that going there. What you can do you've got that, how can you reach out with that? So you've got the excitement, you've got the program delivery, the curriculum, and the STEAM enrichment. You can blog about that based on positive results, what you've done to sustain it, and then write progress reports, for instance, or you can use a case study to help build that. For the frustration part of it, let's say you have an adult educator that comes to you and is maybe struggling with some students that are just not making the progress that they want, so they come to you and say, hey, how can I do it? There's some blogging topics there, or newsletter topics that you can say, here, this has been our experience, and you can blog about it right now, but you can also take the progress and check up with teacher A, for instance, and see how they're coming through that progress from what you helped them with, and going from maybe week 1, week 2, week 3, whatever progress report you follow up with, and write about that. And then you can compare that to other ones. So eventually they'll get into this happy 70%, and you've got that story to tell as well. And a lot of content is about storytelling. So there's one opportunity to build upon that and grow from that. And then let's say take a student that's maybe having troubles at some point with a program. What's that student's story? How can you apply that to maybe the program delivery, to the curriculum itself, and tell an individual story from that student's point of view? Maybe there's a situation with maybe that early elementary age that you're seeing through this program that different parents are experiencing differently. And right now you probably have a couple students you could think of that would make a good story to tell. Maybe mention the first name, Billy J or something, and Bobby Sue or whatever, and just say, this is the progress that we've seen. We started out with frustration. Maybe the parents and Michelle were disappointed or impatient, and it just got everybody frustrated, but you took that approach, maybe changed it around a little bit, and started to see that progress towards there. A lot of people like to see progress reports as well. That is just as strong as writing Billy Sue or Billy J or whatever his name is, came along, had this problem, and worked that. Progress that along, and you've got stories to tell from that, and then take that into different age groups. You could tell the same story from an educator's point of view, from a parent's point of view. So let's see what else. And then back up here, I had this starred because home life is a big part of it. Maybe somewhere down here, some of that, you were saying that when they feel this, it affects that home life. Then it comes right back, and then how do you address that? You could probably come up with a couple stories that say maybe illness in the home, or maybe elderly grandparent has moved in, and so that's creating friction, trying to help these children through this process, and the parents are really struggling with dealing with the elderly parent and the child's issue. There's a story as well. And does your company do newsletters or?
We do yearly reports.
So some of those little stories might be a good follow-up, and you can say, here's a good story that took this product and how it helped with this situation and moved us all into that happy situation. So any questions on that?
Makes sense.
Does anybody have any questions on how it develops or where to take it after that? I get people coming to me all the time saying, I hate to blog. What am I going to do? I'm going to go crazy or kill the person who said I have to blog. So this process helps take you through that, and every one of you are going to be dealing with these emotions at some point, and when they come to you, they're going to spill it out. And they're going to tell you all, and you've got enough information to blog about, to tell some stories in newsletters, even social media. I had a great client today who came to me with this problem, and we talked it through, and here's the results. Now the next part of it is, so now you've got all this great ideas. You've kind of developed that flow chart of things. So now, how do you go about creating a plan for this? So it's great to say, oh, I've got all these great stories, I could see it coming together, but how often are you going to write about it? How often are you going to share it? How often are you going to try to create stories based around it? And that's where that content calendar or an editorial calendar comes in. Try to think about what's realistic, and a lot of people think, I have to blog every day. I have to do social media every day. I have to do LinkedIn every day. I said that because that's Kathy's. But a lot of people get burnt out really fast because they believe they have to do this every day. It's better to start once a month than every day and then quit midway through the month and never do it again. Again, I get a lot of people that come to me and, let's do it, help me with blog ideas, I'm going to start this and make it go every day for the rest of my life and even beyond into retirement, and people get burnt out really quick. So start with maybe twice a month and look at the emotions end of it. Look at what you bring to it and some of the situations that build into it. This is a level that builds into it. Who you're working with builds into it. What you're selling. You can create a different article or a different degree of content based on your product, your service, your idea. Some are strictly product. I believe you as an attorney are just strictly service. So that does limit you in a way, but you're going to have lots of client stories to tell. The other thing is those uncommented on blogs or articles or newsletters, you can recycle them, because likely if you started 2 years ago and I'm not getting, like Steve and I were talking about this, and nobody really responds to my blog or my newsletter, so that's reusable stuff. It's when you get 100 comments and then I'm going to repurpose this in a month, and people are going to go, no, we've read that one before. But so if you're starting now, or if you're looking for those ideas, don't worry about if you don't have any readers. Just start getting out there and telling people, you can find more information here. And starting out slow, because that's where you're going to find your stride, and you're going to find it's going to take a while. This does not happen overnight.